The grasslands are one of my favorite habitats to photograph. The browns, tans, and reds that make up the grasses create a beautiful canvas, especially on gray, dreary days. This habitat is home to Northern Harriers in the winter months, as they move south into northern United States to escape the harsher winters up north. A few days ago, I spotted 2 harriers at this location, so I knew I wanted to head back out to try to photograph them. Typically, it takes a little while to find the species you plan to photograph, but today I was barely out of the parking lot when I saw the first Northern Harrier. Oh, what an incredible start. I already found it. I rushed to get into position and spent the day photographing 2 harriers as they hunted the fields and endured the cold, rainy day. If you're new to my channel, my name is Todd DeWald and I'm a full-time wildlife and conservation photographer in beautiful New England. It is my goal to take you along to explore the amazing diversity of wildlife that call this area home, sharing with you my education to make us all better naturalists and better photographers. It is my hope that my videos will spark an interest in the wildlife in your area, so that together, through photography, we can preserve the natural places that remain. Consider subscribing to my channel to learn more, and thank you for watching. This is incredible. There's 2 Northern Harriers flying around. One looks like a female or a juvenile. The other one looks like a male. You can tell the difference because the females and juveniles are a dark brown, and then they kind of have like a light brownish tan underbelly. And the males are like a slate gray. And it looks like it might be a male and a female pair. They were flying over in front of me, and they're kind of flying around each other, but they since separated, and I haven't seen them in a few minutes now, but I'm just gonna stay where I am because this is where they were. I'm just gonna stay still, stay low. I am down, the grass is beautiful here. It's like a waist-high grass about, so I'm just gonna try to keep my silhouette low, and maybe they'll continue hunting. It's back. I need to get my tripod a little higher because the grass is just a little bit too high. I need to be able to see over it. It's flown down to the far side. It's quite far away from me now. It's a beautiful grassland. It's a huge area. So that's kind of the tricky part, is there's so much habitat that they could be anywhere and they could fly anywhere to avoid me if they wanted to. So this can be a little tricky. I hope the male's coming back over. Oh, just flew right over my head. Oh. It just dove down into the grass. Look at this. It doesn't get much better than that. I've never been able to get a good photograph of a male Northern Harrier. Usually they're really far away. They're more rare down here. I usually just see females or juveniles, and that's amazing. It flew down into the grass now, so I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna actually put my teleconverter on, my external teleconverter on, because it's still hanging around pretty far. That one flyover was the only time it came close. So I'm gonna put that on. That way I'll start at a 560 millimeter and I'll be able to go up to 780. Oh, this is amazing. The Harrier took off again. Seems to be foraging mainly along this section of the preserve that's used as a cornfield. It's right on the edge, so it's not really part of it. So there's some corn stalks in there, and there's probably a lot less vegetation in there mixed in, so it's probably easier for them to hunt in that area. It's still hanging out down that way farther, so I want to creep farther down that way if I'm given the opportunity. It is all the way down on the other side of the field now. So I'm going to use this as my opportunity to stay low and just creep forward. Oh, you can see there's feathers down here on the ground. I must have gotten something this morning. There's a lot of feathers on the ground here. Could have been from any number of predators. Coyotes, fox. There's red tails, harriers, so there's plenty of food. Let's see, I just want to get into position before the one that went to the ground pops back up again. That way I can kind of stay a little bit concealed. Keeps diving down into the grass. This is amazing. Okay, I have him on both sides of me now. The male is in front of me here. The female is closer behind me. As I was creeping down, they started to do aerial battle, flying in between each other. And the juvenile is down in the grass somewhere to my left, behind me, and the male is probably about 200 yards that way. I have a feeling that the male is going to come back over here because it seems like it keeps coming over and pestering this other one here. So, and it's starting to mist. So I could make it just that much more dramatic. I've set myself up in kind of a hedgerow here. I'm standing to try to get over some of the grasses And right now the male is perched on a fence post about 100 yards away. And the female, or the juvenile, has now since flown down into the grass, and I'm just waiting for them to pop up again. The wind is blowing from my back and blowing this direction, which is nice because I've noticed that they're flying into the wind so they can hover. Since they have a really unique hunting style, they hover and fly low and really slow over the ground, and then they swoop down and try to grab prey. So if they're flying into the wind, they'll be able to fly slower and still have enough lift to stay in the air. So I'm hoping if I set myself up this way, they're both down this way, maybe I can get some shots with the wing spread, but they just need to come close enough for me to get that. The two Harriers are taking a break. It's just a waiting game for them to start hunting again. I think it's a good time to have some coffee to warm up a little bit, and hopefully they'll be active again pretty soon. As the rain continued to fall, it appeared the male Northern Harrier was going to be sitting on the fence post for a while. I decided to leave him be and explore other areas of the grassland to give him a chance to rest. I knew that if I tried to approach closer to him, it would likely make him flee. Among the bare shrubs were all sorts of small birds, including American tree sparrows, eastern bluebirds, and song sparrows. I was pretty much soaked through at this point, as it had been raining for a while. I decided to head back to my car to dry off a little and have a late lunch. This would give me a dry spot to look out over the field and watch to see if the male Northern Harrier started to be active again. The encounter this morning with the Harriers was already a nice experience, and if that was all that I was going to see today, I was going to be happy with that. I had some nice images in the camera, and I was planning to stick it out to see if I would get any more luck this afternoon before the sun went down. The rain let up for a short period of time, and I was able to get some landscape shots of the distant hills with the low clouds before I moved into position to once again look for the Harriers. There's a break in the rain now for about an hour or so, and I am going to make my way back down to where it was. I'm actually going down along the fence row here, and I'm hoping that'll let me get a little bit closer and have a different view on it. I just need to see if it's still there or not. This is perfect. Just like that, both Harriers are back out. They haven't been active in hours, and now the rain has stopped and they are out hunting. The juvenile or female is about 200 yards that way. The male popped out of the field as I was walking down this way and flew up and over, and I don't know where he went now. There's some cedar trees right here, and I'm gonna set myself up kind of in among them to kind of break up my silhouette a little bit, and hopefully they'll come back over this way. It's awesome. It's a really small and frame shot. He perched on it's like a telephone pole or a fence post or something in the middle of the field to mark as a boundary, and he's just perched right on that. Blends in really well with the post itself. It's just really nice. This is really nice. The Harrier is still sitting on that fence post and it's preening right now. I have my 2x extender on plus my internal teleconverter on, so I'm at like 1100, almost 1200 millimeters, and just taking a video of it, and it's beautiful. I've raised my camera up a little bit more than where it was so I could try to get over the grasses. I think I've done that, so it's a clearer image, and it's just beautiful. The Northern Harrier is still perched there, and it's starting to rain again pretty good. The light's getting really low. I'm already at ISO 2500, and I'm just gonna have to keep cranking it up as it gets darker out here. I'm not too sure how much longer I'm gonna be able to do too much photography, but we're gonna stick it out, and I'm hoping this Harrier is gonna take off and fly. I apologize if you can't hear me very well. There's a lot of street noise. I'm actually right next to a pretty main road. It's kind of hard to believe. But I think I'm just going to end it here. Just want to say thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the grasslands as much as I do. I love coming out to the grasslands in the winter. Just something about the tans and the browns in the grass. It's always so amazing. And I just love being out here. I'm glad I was able to share it with you. I'm hoping I'll be able to get some more images of this Harrier in the next little while, and if I do, I will share them with you. But thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. The Harrier decided to stay put on the signpost. I was able to slowly move to be able to get just a white background from the fog to make a nice silhouette photo of the bird, and I think it came out pretty nice. But let me know what you think in the comments. As the light got really low, I decided to move on, to let the Harrier hunt if it wanted to. I didn't want my presence to cause the bird not to be able to hunt before it lost all the light. I was happy to be able to leave the area with the bird still sitting on its perch, looking out over the field. Thank you for watching.